What's good, YouTube? It's me, your boy Squid, back in another video. We had a couple of videos on this channel featuring the OCG having no banlist tournaments where they essentially play 3 of every card. So today I thought we would do some matchups just to see how the decks actually function. And as you can see today, we have the Magical Scientist deck, which we saw in the top 8 of the first OCG No Ban List tournament. Obviously, this is an FTK deck that relies on the usage of Magical Scientist in order to spit out a plethora of fusion monsters from the extra deck and somehow burn the opponent to death, against a Dragon Link deck featuring Victory Dragon, which we actually saw dominate the top 8 of a separate OCG tournament using the no ban list format. So the die roll obviously is very, very important in this format. We see Magical Scientist actually won the die roll, and they're going to go ahead and activate Painful Choice. I assume that they want to search for cards that can protect them so they can push through the FTK. Bear in mind that Painful Choice does not have to search monster cards. It can search any card in your deck. And on top of that, it can also be multiple names of the same card. So we can potentially see, we're going to see a shifter activation here, actually, and then Called by the Grave is going to be chained, targeting the shifter. So they already had the Called by, which is absolutely huge because shifter is one of the only cards that can actually be, a good counter to Painful Choice. And you can see, as I mentioned here, they're actually going to dump 3 copies of Crossout Designator and then the other 2 Called bys. These cards, obviously, being not once per turn, except for Crossout Designator, which they didn't already have, ensures that the next play will likely go through. So we're going to see the Crossout Designator being chosen by the Dragon Link player to be added back to their hand. They're going to go ahead and normal summon Magical Scientist. And I think this might just be game, knowing that they do not have any other hand traps. They're going to pay 1,000 life points 4 times to special summon 2 level 6s and then 2 level 2 tuners. We're going to make a level 8 Geomath Mech, and then we're going to make the Cyframe Lord Omega. So we have 2 level 8 Synchros, 1 being a tuner, of course, which we can send to the graveyard to summon Phantasmal Lord Ultimo Bishbalkin. This card is synchro summoned by sending 2 level 8 or higher monsters you control with the same level to the graveyard, including 1 tuner and 1 non-tuner. Okay, so this is going to activate as an ignition effect, which allows you during the main phase to special summon the same number of tokens to each player's board. These are level 100 normal tokens. We can link that off, being a token that's a normal monster, into a Link Spider, and then the second token into a Link Karibo. So we have 2 effect monsters, which we can then Link Climb into this card, Geonator Transverser. This card requires 2 effect monsters, and then it can use the ignition effect if this card points to 2 monsters, Bishbalkin and the token. You can switch control of them. Kind of cool if you ask me, so positioning does matter in this FTK. Now that we have 2 blank spots, we're going to continue using the Magical Scientist to pay 1,000 more life points and then another 1,000 to summon 2 Invoke Raigens. These are, of course, level 5 fusion monsters that we can then overlay into the actual win condition, which is number 33, Konamali Machu Mech. This card targets any monster on the field that has a attack that's different than its original attack, which Bishbalkin does, because it has another effect. It gains 1,000 attack for each monster on the field. So this already gains 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 against 10,000, and then Machumek will detach to target that monster and inflict damage to the opponent equal to the difference between the original attack and the current attack. So yeah, as you can see, we're going to take 10,000 and actually lose that duel. Okay, next, we are going to see a rematch. So 1-0 for the Magical Scientist that somehow just pushed through. You can see the power of the die roll in this format. It's just crazy if they don't have any hand traps. And we're looking off to a good start here. The Dragon Link player is going to go first. And we see another Called by the Grave as well as Delinquent Duo against a Maxi and an Effect Veiler. So this could potentially be very devastating. We will see what happens. Okay. Dragon Link player is going to go first and activate Potter Grid, obviously, maybe just to draw into more options. We're going to see a Maxi activation in response to the Potter Grid. This is also a common play in current OCG format, where you will see Maxi activations in response to cards that draw, just so we guarantee that there's a less chance of them actually drawing to Called by the Grave or a Crossout Designator, knowing that not knowing that they have it, of course, which we are going to see that being chained to the Maxi, which is absolutely devastating. We're going to see 2 cards being drawn, 2 power cards, Imperial Order and Graceful Charity. So we are probably going to see that Graceful Charity being activated, which we do. Drawing 3 cards into the Eclipse Wyvern and another copy of Delinquent Duo. And I think this is just absolutely so one-sided. We're going to see that entire hand being ripped out into the graveyard. But first, we're going to see an Eclipse Wyvern activation here, banishing potentially Victor Dragon, because this is the way that they actually search it, or another Dark level 7 or higher dragon monster, which we see the Chaos Emperor Dragon of Armageddon being a good extender card that we can rely on later on in the duel. So Delinquent Duel is going to resolve. We're going to discard 2 random cards, and the other Delinquent Duel is going to resolve because it's not once per turn. Discard the rest of the other cards in their hand, and now we are just, winning this duel in a dominating fashion, activating Painful Choice, selecting 5 dragon monsters that all get effects in the graveyard. So it doesn't really matter what you pick here. It's going to be a Painful Choice like the name suggests. We're going to see an Eclipse Wyvern being added to the hand, and then, oh my gosh, there's going to be a lot of activations here. We're going to see some trigger activations, Eclipse Wyvern, as well as the Absolute Rotter Dragon, and we do have the Glow Up Bulb and the Seyfert in the graveyard for later activations. We're going to see the Victory Dragon being banished. This is super devastating. The opponent has no board on the field, no cards in hand either, and bear in mind that, again, the OCG rules means that you cannot concede unless both players agree to that concession. So you can see Noobman here making a draw offer, trying to concede desperately, but the opponent says, no, we're going to keep playing because the OCG rules say that both players must concede, agree to a concession, rather, before one player can concede. So we're going to see a Ravine activation, discarding the Eclipse Wyvern that was added to hand with Painful Choice, sending the Tempest from the deck. So this is going to activate the Eclipse Wyvern again, because it's not once per turn. We're going to be able to banish, but it looks like there's no targets, so that mandatory activation will be resolving without effect. We're going to normal summon Rocket Tracer into the Striker Dragon combo, as we all know, being Dragon Link aficionados. Add the Boot Sector Launch to hand, and this could be the entire match, knowing that the opponent has nothing on board. This Dragon Link player could potentially just attack for game. Looks like they're going to bring back the Glow Bulb here by milling a Pot of Greed. Going into the Hawk play, into likely the Steam the Cloak, as we talked about in the previous video. There is a combo here off of the Link Cross. So using Halcron, Crystron into Link Cross to summon 2 level 1 tokens that will pair well with this level 3 Steam the Cloak tuner, which can allow us to make a level 5 Synchro, the Broken Ib, the World Justiciar, World Chalice Justiciar. When the Synchro summon, you can add 1 World Legacy card from your deck to the hand. But obviously, we're going to have to activate Steam the Cloak as Chainlink 1 being mandatory, and then Justiciar is Chainlink 2 to be able to add a copy of World Legacy Guard Dragon as a free extender. We're going to get a free Steam the Cloak token as well to further our plays into the beyond, but now we're going to activate World Legacy Guard Dragon to bring back the Star Liege, so we can go into more extender plays, converting that Star Liege Seyfert into a copy of the Baby Dragons. So that's basically a +1, given that this can actually search another copy of Wyvern Burster for another level 4 dragon after we link it off. Banishing the Eclipse Wyvern to be able to add back the Chaos Emperor, the Dragon of Armageddon that we banished earlier with that Eclipse Wyvern when we sent it to the graveyard using Painful Choice. Link this off into Guard Dragon LP. Now, it doesn't really matter what the Dragon Link player does at this point in time. They could mess up the combo a million different ways, but still probably going to win the entire game, at least maybe the match. We're going to, the Noobman desperately trying to make a draw offer, knowing that the Victory Dragon is on the verge of being summoned and potentially ending this entire match in one swing. We're going to see the Link Cross and the token being tuned off into a Protector Whelp of the Destruction Swordsman. Bear in mind, Guard Dragon LP does have that restriction where you cannot special summon monsters except for dragon monsters. So Buster Whelp is a dragon. We're going to see LP special summon, being that it points to the same link arrow as Protector Whelp. Going to see a free Rocket Recharger hit the table, and that's going to be linked off into a Guard Dragon Pisty, which can special summon another dragon from the Banished or the Grave, level 4 or lower monster to be able to link into it. Going to see a Triple Burst Dragon. You guys all know this common combo. Guard Dragon Pisty pointing to the Triple Burst column. Going to bring back a copy of, well, I guess a Buster Whelp. It doesn't really matter what we bring back. It's just a monster for link fodder here. Going to make a link to Guard Dragon Agarpain. This card is a link to dragon monsters. Allows you to special summon any dragon from your extra deck to the 2 pointed zones, which we are pointing to with Pisty and Agarpain. So we're going to see Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss. And then from here, going to see the Tempest coming back to life. So that hasn't yet been activated. And then Eclipse Wyvern will trigger, allowing us to add back the Victory Dragon. Uh-oh. I can see where this is going. And then we're going to link these 2 off. Oh, wow. A 4. Okay, we're going to link up everything into Boral and Dragon. Ib is going to get the effect to special summon a World Chalice monster from the deck when it is sent from the field to the graveyard as a synchro summon monster. We're going to see World Chalice Guard Dragon hit the table. So this, as you can see, like, Ib does so much for this deck, being easily made using Halka Fibrax itself. And Link Cross. Wow, that is absolutely crazy. Borderline is going to trigger because it can target any monster on the table, not just your opponents. And then you can target one rocket monster in your graveyard and get the effects of the monster on the field, and then special summon that target from the graveyard. So we're going to see a free special summon extender off of that play. And then we're going to see the Wyvern Burster hit the table. And from here, not a lot of options. We only have 4 extra deck monsters in the extra deck, but it doesn't really matter. Can banish the Safer to bring back the Chaos Dragon Levianeer. And then activate the Chaos Dragon Emperor to add back the Absolute Outer Dragon and then destroy it and send it to the extra deck as it is a Pendulum monster. Special summon the Absolute Outer Dragon being a free extender. Use 4 monsters to, wow, Topologic Gumbler Dragon. Okay, we're going for some style here. And then banishing 2 Light and Darks to special summon the Chaos Emperor from the extra deck, which is a valid play, of course, using its effect. And then we're going to see a set Imperial Order. And they're actually going to pass the turn. We're seeing maximum BM here. We're going to see the activation of this deck to its fullest extent. In the draw phase, Whirlwind Dragon's going to bring back a monster. And then Topologic Gumbler Dragon's going to discard a card, being that a monster was summoned to a Link Arrow. So we're going to randomly discard a card. Doesn't really matter if we discard the Victory Dragon because we do have access to Starliege Safer in our deck using Dragon Ravine. So we could activate the Starliege to bring back the Victory Dragon, even if we do happen to randomly discard it with the effect of Gumbler Dragon to discard that Magical Scientist. Wow, the BM is real. We are just seeing free activations here to see what the deck is capable of. And finally, it looks like we're going to rip off the Band-Aid here and end the opponent's suffering by summoning Victory Dragon and attacking not for game, but the entire match, because Victory Dragon, when tribute summoned using 3 Dragon monsters and reduces your opponent's life points to 0 using a direct attack, means you win the entire match, so there will not be a game 3. This game is just over. We're seeing the Dragon Link player just winning the match on the spot for Noobman. And you can see how broken this format is, but it is very explosive and a lot of fun. So I'm going to upload some more videos about this. If you guys like this, rate, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think about this duel and then what you think about this format in general. We will see this crazy format some more. I'll see you guys in the next video. Ciao for now.